Honestly, the best thing Colbert said to me is I think the week before we aired.
Stephen Colbert?
This is Stephen Colbert.
Okay, because I know.
I can't call him Stephen.
No,
it
I
feels
just
disrespectful.
I only say that because I don't feel people know him, and the word's not out. But it's Stephen Colbert, and he has the show that's on before Taylor, and it's fine. Anyway, go ahead. And shout out to Stephen. I know he's a huge. He likes to just sit, I think, in a parking lot in his hometown and just listen to this podcast over and over again.
I heard it was a hot tub.
It's a hot tub. Yeah. He has a hot tub in his car in a parking lot. Anyway, it's all very sad. But anyway, what did Stephen Colbert tell you?
Stephen Colbert. I remember we were at dinner the week before the show came on, and he gave me a lot of great advice, and he has the entire time. But one thing he said that was really helpful is he goes, "You don't have to be as good as you think you have to be, like right away." He's like, as a host of a late night show, like people are just happy to see you. Like people just want to hang out with you at night. Like you don't have to be like hilarious every second. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like, awesome. Then I won't even try. Like, that's awesome.
I think that philosophy has really hurt Stephen. I just want to say. Because every time I see his show, I think he's not even trying. And this needs to be better. And I've told him, we're friends. I tell him this all the time. But he's always saying, no, I don't have to try. It's okay. People are just happy to see me. And I'm like, no, raise the bar, man.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is like, he's like, for example, he was like, so you should go out before the show and like talk to the audience and like build some rapport and like, ask if anyone has any questions. And I did that for the first couple weeks. And I haven't said this to him, but I probably should. Like, I told other people, I was like, I don't know if Stephen realizes he's much more famous than I am. So people have questions for Stephen before his show. They're like, oh, thank God he's going to talk to us. And when I'm like, does anyone have any questions? They're like, we know where the bathroom is. We're good. Like, can you just get on with it?
You know what? You now made me really want to go and sit at the audience of Stephen's show and put my hand up and ask where the bathroom is. I really want to do that.
Because people in his audience come with questions for him specifically, and I go up and I'm like, anybody have anything? They're like, not really. And I was like, great. To be clear, that was a CBS note that they wanted me to say that. And we have such a great Percy, our warm-up guy, is like so incredible, and he just did a whole dance, and you're like, I'm not going to bring the room down.
Right. I don't think you'd be bringing the room down.
I say hi, but I'm not,
Okay, I'll tell you, I used to work way too hard before the show started on the late night shows, Monday through Friday. I would go out and I would entertain them like it was the last show they were all going to see. Yeah. And then they were all going to be taken away in the mothership and destroyed. And I was like, I would go out. I was doing songs. I was doing shtick. And they loved it. And I was sweating. And then I would go backstage and they'd go, here he is, Conan O'Brien. And I would come out and I was like, I looked like people watching at home like, he looks uncomfortable and tired. I gave them everything up front, and then it took me about a year to realize, stop doing that. It was such a needy thing to do.
Well, and probably hard to follow yourself, right?
That's interesting. Yeah. It's also, I just did a show for them, personally. Then they saw me walk out, and cameras are there, and then that's for the television viewer, and they happen to be there too. Yeah. And so, of course, they felt like, well, we just got the dessert up front, which is we got him talking to us. So
yeah, it's like trying to follow crowd work during an hour. Is like if something just destroys, you're like, this is great, but now I have to go back to my material. And
it's hard to follow yourself. I'm still on that. That's just so deeply philosophical, especially for you. Just how do you follow you?
Well, I'm a big fan of me.
I know. So that's what I mean. You'd be intimidated by yourself.
Is that really him?
I can't follow that guy.
He's so much taller than I thought he'd be.
No, that's really helpful to hear, actually. I was also going to ask, because you didn't go into dressing rooms before the show, right?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
Never came into mine. Did the show twice.
Oh, no.
Never said hi. But that's okay. I was a stand-up.
No, I will tell you why. When it was women, I was told sometimes that my appearances were abrupt. And it almost looked like I was trying to catch them. So I got a talking to. Remember, Sona, you talked to me. You were the one.
Yeah, I was. I was like, stop just barging in there.
With the men you knock, and then you come in, and with the women you kick the door open and go, "What's going on?" No, I wouldn't do it all the time, but I would do it. Sometimes I thought if there was a guest, especially if there was a guest that I wasn't sure what the chemistry was going to be, I wanted to go in first and get a reading of like, what is our, and you can tell, like you can go in, and if I had a difficult time, I remember going in and, well, I can say Lance Armstrong, years before his, scandal, he was on the show and he was like the biggest, thing in cycling and one of the biggest figures in sports. And I was excited to have him on. I didn't know anything about him personally. And I went in to talk to him, and he was just kind of felt like he had a chip on his shoulder, and I couldn't connect. And I can connect with a burnt out light bulb if I have to. Like I can really connect if I couldn't figure it out.
Lance, I have chemistry with everyone.
Yeah, I know.
This is not on me.
But I said, yeah, your chemistry seems altered.
Oh boy.
But no, I left the room, and my producer was eating a bowl of soup and went, "What's going on?" And I said, "Jeff, I don't know about it with Lance Armstrong." And he was like, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be good." Slurp, slurp. And so then I we had the interview, and I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not, anyone would look at it now and go like, "Oh, it's fine," but I couldn't figure it out. And I like to go in sometimes. Sometimes there were people who were really nervous, really nervous, and sometimes surprising, because extremely famous actors who I love Joaquin Phoenix. I love him. I think he's a terrific actor. And I think he was, what a lot of people forget is that these people have a different skill, which is he's an amazing actor. But I think at that stage anyway, he would come on the show, and he didn't do a lot of talk shows. And I remember he was really nervous.
Oh, wow.
So I would go in and just talk to him, and he would say, "This is crazy. I can't do this." And I thought, "What are you talking about? You're an iconic young actor. They're going to be so happy to see you." But it was not his process to go out and just shoot the shit with someone. So sometimes I would go in and just let them know, first of all, the stakes are really low. It's just you and me. I like to take care of people, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And that would help if we had a relationship prior to them coming out.
Well, and our show is also different because, this is something I've been sort of trying to find time for, because I just didn't realize how fast the day was going to go. So you're like, there's not a lot of time. I usually meet panelists when they're coming out to rehearse, which is when everybody else is meeting them.
Right.
So I've been looking at my schedule going like, okay, where can we find time? Because they get there and they start working with the writers on jokes. Not to destroy the illusion, everybody.
I was going to say,
not a real game
when I have watched it the first time I saw it, and as jaded as I am, you'd think I'd know, but I'm watching it and I was like, wow, these people are killing it with their answers. And then literally a me stepped out of me and went, "Come on, man. You're smarter than that." Oh, okay. The writers. Okay, great. But it works. It's funny.
Yeah, it's great. And they're working with the writers in their rooms, in hair and makeup. I don't want to take time away from that. So figuring out how to do that. And there's also there's guests I feel nervous around. Maria Bamford came on the show, and I was very nervous around her because I just think she's a genius. And Janie, my social media manager, was like, "You wouldn't even look her in the eye." And I was like, "Yeah, because I was scared."
Yeah.
But there's also lots of people that I am friends with or I know, and that's an easy day, and I feel very comfortable around them. But there's also a lot of people I haven't met, and finding out how to do that. And I'm horrified to find out you did go into everyone's dressing rooms, except for mine.
Not yours.
So
again, it was an
look,
HR. It was an HR
twice.
issue.
Yeah, I only did it twice. It's fine. But
third time is when I go in. Tom Hanks came on many times. First two times I wouldn't go in. It was always it's got to be third time.
But Kelly Clarkson doesn't go in, or doesn't go into mine. I don't know.
Can I just say, not to
Now
bum
I
you
don't
up,
know.
but Kelly Clarkson walks in here all the time. Just walks in to check in on us.
She stops by my house sometimes.
No, I know. She's incredible.
Well,
She
but
inflated the tires on my mountain bike.
But both times I did her show twice, and both times like she just makes you feel so comfortable immediately on stage. So you're like, oh yeah, it's fine, and the same way you did. But like, yeah, I think everyone just has their own, process, and so it's been interesting. Like in the first month that we're doing it, trying to find how it works best for
Everyone's
me.
got their own way. Some people, I know Letterman never went in and talked to anybody. And I think he just wanted to keep it all fresh.
Right.
But it's all what serves you. Like I said, you have to get to the point where there's got to be just almost this ruthless quality of, as you go through it, you're going to realize, I like this. This makes me comfortable. This I'm less comfortable with. And you can't judge it. You just have to make sure that that's what happens.
Yeah.
So if something works for you and serves you, do that.